Welcome. This is the next video in the state series being done by the Academy of Adoption and Assisted Reproduction Attorneys. Today, we're covering my home state, finally, the state of Nevada, and my wonderful colleagues in the state of Nevada. And we'll introduce everybody to you. And why don't we start with Ishie?
Hi, nice to meet and see you all. My name is Ishie Kunin, and I have been an attorney for over 40 years. And I have been a fellow with Quad A for over 30 years. So I'm probably the senior of this group. My passion, my reason for getting into the law was building families. Back when I started, art was not something that had been recognized in states across the country. You had the traditional husband, wife, egg, sperm. If they did it, it was recognized, but it was very specific as to that. I love how the law has grown in this area. I love being a part of it, and I am very proud to be a part of it with my daughter, who probably hates me for saying that, but you will meet her in a minute.
There you go. Eric, you're next.
Thank you. My name is Eric Stovall. I was born and raised in Nevada, went to school here. In 1987, I started practicing law. I was primarily drawn to personal injury work because I was able to help people through that. A few years later, I was asked to help an adoption agency, and I started helping people do that. And from there, all of a sudden, surrogacy wasn't science fiction like it was when I went to law school, and it was reality. And I started helping people through surrogacy. And I enjoyed helping people grow their family and keep their families safe. And in the midst of all that, I heard about the Academy of Adoption and Assisted Reproduction Attorneys, the Quad A, and I was intrigued by these attorneys, and I found out more. I applied, I was invited in, and I loved working with attorneys that shared my passion for family formation. Working with attorneys across the country, not just here in Nevada, but also around the world. In 2018, in fact, I became president of the Academy and have just enjoyed working with these wonderful attorneys. Now, my law practice continues, often working with my Nevada colleagues here, again, still helping people increase and secure their families.
Excellent. And Shoshanna.
That's me. Hi. If you haven't figured it out, I'm the daughter that was previously mentioned, Shoshanna Kuhn Levitt. Like Eric, I was born and raised in Nevada, and I also was drawn to personal injury originally for much the same reasons. It felt good to try to help people. Over time, having my mom as a mentor and guide, I started seeing more and more of the family building side of the law and wanting to do more of that. So much of what we do as lawyers, people don't come to see us on their best day. And so it felt really good to find an area of law where I felt like I could really make a difference and help people and celebrate such a momentous, life-changing thing with them, And so I let the personal injury side go and focus solely on family building. That's all I do day in, day out, and it's just wonderful. Like the other attorneys have already said, this fellowship of Quad A is truly incredible. The lawyers really work together in this area, this field, and help each other. It's not combative. And in doing that, we really improve the entire field for everybody and push things forward so that it's just such a wonderful experience and a joy of doing it.
It's hard not to shake my head. Yes. Yes. It's one of those things when you get into your words and you're like, wow, yes, Shoshanna's got it. That's right. Katherine, why don't you introduce yourself?
Great. I'm Katherine Provost. I am an attorney in Las Vegas, Nevada. And unlike my counterparts, I was not blessed enough to be born and raised here, but I have lived here for 20 years now. So that's about as close to native as you can get without being born here. I have been an attorney in Nevada for nearly 20 years. So I moved here and got started in practice in Nevada right away. I've been a family law attorney, and about 8 years ago, I transitioned a good half of my practice into family building. It is what I love to do. I like to say that working on my family building cases is what keeps me sane, as opposed to working on traditional family law. Though in both fields, I have the ability to help people through what starts as the darkest time in their life. And hopefully by the time I end my relationship with them on a professional side, they have found that light, that glimmer of hope. And that is what we all work together as fellows of Quad A to do, is to build your family, help you, walk alongside of you, and get you to that goal of that child that you've been dreaming of. And I am blessed to have wonderful, wonderful fellow Quad A members in Nevada. I've had the privilege of working with each and every one of them, as well as fellows that are not in Nevada, outside of Nevada and worldwide. And I just love what I do, and I'm glad to be here working with all of you.
And Shelly.
Hello, my name is Shelly Cooley. I'm an attorney in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I was born in Northern California, and I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada 24 years ago on a whim. I was a previous teacher, and when I moved here, I had no job, no place to live, and I knew no one here, but I thought Las Vegas sounded like a fun place to live. My apartment lease was up and I moved here, and I've never looked back. I love living in Nevada. I love the people that I've met in Nevada. And I love helping people here. I have been a licensed attorney since 2004, so almost 20 years. I started out my practice as family law, and my favorite part of my practice is helping families with children. So child custody, any area that touches children, that's what I want to do. So family building was a very natural progression of my practice. And I have been slowly transitioning my practice to family building, because after all of these years, the child custody and traditional family law practice can be a struggle, and because people are not in their happiest places. And family building is very much helping people build their families, helping them have children and complete their families. And it is the absolute most favorite part of my practice area.
All right, and then myself. I'm Kimberley Serrat. I have been doing assisted reproduction law since 2003. My first baby was born in 2004, and at the time, Nevada had extremely strict and limited statutes regarding surrogacy, although I will give us credit because we had some of the very first surrogacy statutes ever in the country, although they were archaic at that point in time. So in 2013, I drafted and lobbied the passage of all of the new reproductive statutes in the state of Nevada. And since 2013, when I was able to do that, I have done nothing but assisted reproduction law. Well, I'll take that back. I do plenty of adoption work. So family formation, as everybody else on the video has been calling it, anything family formation oriented, but this is my passion. This is where I lie. I am a trustee at the moment with the Academy, and couldn't be any more thankful for the Academy and the resources and the others on this video right now. All right, so let's talk about Nevada generically, because there's a lot of nuances, right, everybody? In general, is Nevada assisted reproduction friendly?
Absolutely.
Very friendly.
I'll just do big
Very,
mouths.
very friendly.
Now, there are states in the country that say they are the best, they are the friendliest, but Nevada's at the top with, right there with them, right?
You'd be hard to beat Nevada's laws and Nevada's approach to this area.
And I would even go so far as to say we have some of the most surrogacy friendly laws in the world. We are very, very surrogacy friendly.
And so, Catherine, for the LGBTQ community, is it a go-to place?
Oh, it absolutely is, Kim. We have no bias in Nevada, meaning that you do not have to be married. You do not have to be in a same, you do not have to be married. You do not have to be in any type of a relationship. If you are in a relationship, it can be any form of a relationship, meaning it can be same sex, it can be opposite sex. It can be two parties that choose to utilize surrogacy to build a family together, but they're not legally married. We really do not discriminate in Nevada. We try our best to make it a friendly place for anyone who wants to have a child through surrogacy.
Shoshanna, is Nevada a state where you have to have an attorney assist you for this?
That it is. That it is. You have to have an attorney, and not just one, you have to have two. Both sides have to be independently represented to get through the process.
And, you know, Eric, when we get those phone calls and we're doing the initial consults, one of the first questions or things I think people are flooding through the internet looking for is, what does our parentage order process look like? Is it flexible for them? And what can we do in Nevada for them?
We're very lucky in Nevada to have a great parentage process. It's a fairly straightforward matter of filing a parentage petition with a court, and the court issuing an order saying who the parents of this child to be born is, or if the child's already born, who they are and who they aren't. So you have both the intended parents being protected through this process, and the surrogate and her spouse or partner, if she has one, protected through this process as well. And we have a court hearing. We don't have a court hearing, I should say. Almost always we have this process done without anyone having to go to court at all. So it's very user-friendly for our clients.
And, you know, as far as jurisdiction goes, we're extremely friendly for jurisdiction too. We have a lot of different options, but speaking to an attorney about your individual circumstances, I think is one of the most important things. Ishie, what does it mean for Academy Fellows specifically to work together on cases?
Oh, you know, Shoshanna talked about it in the introduction. And again, I said, I've been a part of this Academy really since almost its inception, a year in, back in 1990. And the camaraderie and the spirit of joy that the Academy Fellows get in practicing in this area is unlike any other group I've ever been a part of. And the competition, it's not about that. It's about camaraderie. It's about how can I help? What did you do in this situation? There's no fear that somebody is stepping on toes. It's wonderful. It's why I've been a fellow for all of these years, and I continue to be. There's such a sense of friendship and in feeling that others want to help you if you get a particular stumble block, or you're working with a country that maybe you haven't worked with before, an immigration issue you haven't had. We're free to reach out to other fellows who might have, and everybody is so free and willing to assist.
If I can add to that also, the trust that goes into being a Quad A. I know that if I'm reaching out to a Quad A fellow, even if I don't know them personally, the fact that they're a Quad A fellow, I trust that they are a higher level of attorney and that I can rely on them for the information that I'm given.
You know, and I'll agree with Ishie and Shoshanna. It's and beyond the issues of trust, it's a matter of when I call another Quad A attorney, this isn't someone who just applied to the Academy and pays their dues. Everybody gets in.
Right.
Not everybody gets into the Academy. This is an invitation only process. You have to show that you've done a certain number of art cases. You have to show competency from other attorneys and from judges. So this isn't a process where everybody gets in. The attorneys we call for help and other Quad A members, they're vetted, they're qualified, and they care about people just like we do.
and they're available. That's the great thing about being a fellow of Quad A.
Excellent.
At any point in time, I can pick up a phone and call a fellow in any state with any question. And I know they're going to take my call. I know they're going to be there for me, and I would do the same for them. And just having the ability to not only know your own state's law intimately, but to be able to pick up that phone if you have a client that comes to you and they're going to work with a surrogate in another state, to be able to pick up the phone and say, I know exactly who to call. I know exactly who to refer you to. You know that when you refer to a Quad A fellow, you have faith and trust that your client is going to be in good hands.
Absolutely.
Shelley, any last thoughts on that?
I think I'd like to just emphasize that when working with fellows, despite the fact that each party has to have their own independent representation, we are all on the same team. We are all trying to build a family for the intended parents. And it's a wonderful process to be part of, because instead of conflict and contentiousness, we are all trying to help this family. We're trying to make sure that the surrogate isn't a parent of the child she's carrying, and we're trying to make sure that the intended parents are the parents of the child. And it's such a wonderful process. And my favorite part of this process is when I get pictures of the intended parents with their new baby or babies. And that really, it's the best part of my day.
I just got a picture of my baby, my first baby, going to college. So,
That's part of what's
but
so
as
great,
they age, I'm like, oh my goodness.
that you stay with. It's not just the one picture you get after the birth. They become extended friends in a way, that you
Right.
get these updates. You know, I get the Christmas cards or the holiday cards
Absolutely.
every year, and it's so wonderful.
It is.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Thank you for participating today. And please check out Nevada for anything. I mean, literally anything. We are a great state. If you want to contact one of these fellows today, the Academy has a map. And on that map, you can choose the different states. You'll get the contact information for each of these fellows. And you can also click on some other states. Not everything in Nevada is just Nevada. We have a lot of interstate work. And so knowing both states is very important, and realizing and meeting the fellows through these videos. So if you would like the contact information for these fellows today, go to adoptionart.org. Again, that is adoptionart.org. And we look forward to hearing from you, and please contact one of us. Thank you, everybody, for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
That, I,
Bye.